Welcome to Wager Talk TV. I am Kelly Stewart at Kelly in Vegas on Twitter, joined by Adam Trigger at Top Flight SI and Dave Koken at Dave Koken, both of WagerTalk.com. We've got a little AFC West matchup here. The Denver Broncos, currently 6.5-point underdogs on the Wager Talk odds screen at the Los Angeles Chargers, total 45.5. Adam, as a Broncos fan, if you will, I tweeted last week. I said, look, if Drew Lock's under center, I just cannot back this team. I was not confident that they were going to get over their 8.5 wins. And unfortunately, Drew Lock proved me right. How many points would it take here for you to get a little nibble on the Broncos, if you will?
Well, Kelly, I think we're getting the number of points that I thought it would take me to get involved, but ultimately, last weekend, I was really close getting to the window with the Broncos, just couldn't do it because of Drew Lock, and that's going to be my excuse again this week. It looks like Lock's going to get the start. I know, Teddy Bridgewater may be back, potentially even active, but it looks like they're going to go with Drew Lock, and that's just, that's going to be enough to keep me off. I can't back him. 2 weeks ago, he came into the Bengals game, and I fully believe that if Teddy Bridgewater doesn't get hurt, the Broncos probably win there. But the other issue here is the Broncos defense is a little banged up, specifically in the middle of the field. And that's where the Chargers could potentially really exploit them in this matchup. So even though I do think the number is high, and I think, value wise, it's easy to make a case for the Broncos, against the number, that the number's too big. But I don't think there's any number that's too big when you're dealing with Drew Lock. He's just not a competent NFL quarterback, in my opinion. So I can't lay it with the Chargers, a little bit too many, but I can't back Drew Lock either, so I'm going to sit this one out.
Dave, our good friend Ralph Michaels had a stat about divisional road underdogs and how well they've done this year. And so I was trying to make a case for the Broncos, but you've got a little stat on the flip side.
There's an angle that favors the Chargers here, which I'm not going to go into the specifics of it because it just takes too long, and I'm not a big angles guy, but I did happen to notice it. The main thing I'll talk about here is, well, first of all, the Broncos aren't very good. Let's put it that way. The Chargers, they just went so flat off the loss to Kansas City and had what amounts to an unforgivable loss to Houston. Herbert had an absolutely terrible game. The team puts itself in dire straits to make the playoffs. I mean, if they just won the game last week, they'd still be in decent shape. Now they've got to win out and get some help. I like taking what I think are pretty good teams off really bad games, and losing to Houston on the road qualifies as a really bad game for the Chargers. I don't think the Broncos are much. That game last week between the Broncos and Raiders, somebody had to win, and it turned out to be the Raiders in what was, well, let's just say not a very good football game. I think the Chargers will bounce back here. I like them to win this game and maybe win it by a margin.
All right, good stuff from Dave and Adam. We're all passing on the Broncos, might be getting involved in the Chargers. Make sure you guys head over to WagerTalk.com and check out both Dave and Adam's packages for sale.